Yes, exactly. This is what people think when you go to the restaurant and you ask if they have something gluten-free. They think that you want to impress them with this fashionable and trendy diet that you follow, and you want to show that you're eating healthy, and they are not. And they get very irritated with that. But probably it's not because they're bad, just because they don't have enough of information about the gluten-free diet. So I have been following this gluten-free diet already for 4 years, and I'm here to share my experience with you. First of all, to understand what is gluten-free diet, you need to understand what is gluten. Gluten is a mixture of 2 proteins that you can mostly find in wheat flour, first of all, and some cereals like oats, semolina, barley, rye. Simply saying, it's a type of glue that helps to form the dough, and it helps you can roll the dough with help of that gluten. It can help to put the dough together. Without this glue, your dough will fall apart and you cannot form it, you cannot roll it. It also helps to rise the dough and gives the final product, a very chewy texture. In normal healthy gut, this glue normally breaks to the amino acids, and then it leaves your body without doing any harm to it. But in those people who has gluten intolerance, celiac disease, and high sensitivity to gluten, this glue cannot be digested properly and cannot be broken up properly, and it turns to the toxins. Those toxins go straight into your bloodstream, and they circulate in your body, and they affect your brain. You become tired, you feel fatigue, you feel depressed. Even they can also affect your immune system, and you get sick often, and you have lots of, catch every single virus that spreads in the air. And it also affects your autoimmune system. That means you have a lot of allergies, and it can also cause asthma. So the first question is how to understand that you have gluten intolerance. First of all, the symptoms. Normally it's a bloating and pain. I remember all my life I had those symptoms, but at the time of my childhood and the students' years, no one knew anything about gluten. And all the doctors, they thought that I have a gastritis, but none of the medicine helped me to get rid of that pain. I always knew that it's about the food. I noticed that once I eat something that contains wheat flour, I always have some bloating feelings, and as a result, the next day I have pain. So based on my intuition, I excluded partially this food from my diet already many years ago. But still, there were lots of hidden glutens that I ate, and I didn't know about that. So the first symptoms that normally show that probably you have a gluten intolerance are the bloating and pain. With the years, all my symptoms, they got worse, and I had more days with the pain. And by the end, I just, I understood that I don't want to live like this anymore. And I went to the gastroenterologist. I had a blood test. That was a routine check. I was done a blood test, and it showed that I have a very high number of antibodies to gluten. That was the first sign. And then I had an endoscopy, and the biopsy showed that I have very high sensitivity to gluten. So those are 2 tests that you can go through to find out if you have a gluten intolerance or no. What food you should exclude from your diet? All food that contains wheat flour, first of all type of pastas, pizzas, pastries, cookies, cakes, pancakes, cupcakes, muffins, everything. And also the cereals that I already mentioned, like oats. Oats doesn't have gluten by itself, but since it grows on the same fields where the wheat grows, it's considered to be gluten contaminated, so avoid oats. But there are some gluten-free oats you can buy. So as I said, everything that contains wheat flour should be excluded from your diet. And the next question is, what can I eat if I have a gluten intolerance? So you can eat everything that doesn't contain wheat flour, and that includes fresh vegetables, fresh meats, all sort of beef, lamb, poultry, chicken, fish, fresh fruits, dairy products, the fresh ones, the milk, the fresh yogurt, the plain one, the cheese. You can drink the same drinks you used to drink before: coffee, tea, juices, fresh juices. Some cereals are still okay, like rice, brown rice, buckwheat, millet, quinoa. You still can eat them. They are gluten-free and safe. And gluten-free oats, as I said, also. Okay, I think that's quite a lot. All type of greens you can eat. So I think this is, people think that gluten-free diet is so limited, and the list of things that you can eat is so short, but it's not. Believe me, you just cut all those, harmful things from your diet and just stick to the healthy one. And believe me, you will only live longer with this diet and stay healthy. My first advice is to convince the whole family to stick to this diet and to follow it. Because if you're following it only by yourself, only, alone, and your husband, let's say, or your boyfriend buys some fresh sandwiches, some buns, it's very difficult, because it's a big temptation. In case if the whole family is on gluten-free diet, it's much easier because you just don't buy those things and you cannot find them in your fridge or whatever, but it's not in your house. Since it's not in your house, it's the easiest way not to break your diet. Just do not buy. And once the whole family is on this diet, it makes your life much, much easier. First of all, buy rice cakes, not particularly these ones, any rice cakes that you can find in your nearest store, because I think this is a very popular product and can be found in any supermarket, even those who are not specialized on the gluten-free products. So rice cakes, they can save your life, because in the morning, if you want to eat sandwich, you can eat it with a rice cake. If you want to take some snack to your office or to your college or whatever, you can always, buy this one. It's very healthy. It doesn't have a lot of calories, and available and affordable. Another option, I think, it would be also very good to have a cereals, for the breakfast cereals, which are gluten-free. You can choose any, the rice one, the oats one, but the gluten-free one, because it's very easy, to take cereals, put some yogurt, just add some fruits, and you have a very healthy and a very yummy, for me it's very yummy, breakfast in the morning. And number 3, I think it will save your life if you buy the gluten-free flour. It will be much easier to convince your family members to stick to this gluten-free diet. If you bake things if you bake, like, say, cakes, pancakes, everything, you can substitute in all the recipes that you have for your normal cakes that you like. You can substitute it with a gluten-free flour, and you will get the same result, believe me. And all the family members will be absolutely happy. You can bake bread, you can make pancakes, you can make muffins and cupcakes. This is what we normally do for the whole family, and believe me, our kids eat lots of cakes and sweets baked at home, and they're absolutely happy. So gluten-free flour, rice cakes, and any cereals in the beginning. That can save your life. One more advice: buy the gluten-free recipe book. My favorite book is a book of a paleo diet. It's a diet that is based on the theory that people should eat only the food that their ancestors ate in the Paleozoic era. And at that time, when our ancestors lived millions of years ago, we didn't have wheat. We had only the meat and the vegetables. and fruits. So people started growing wheat only when they had to feed lots of people because the number of people increased significantly, and there was not enough of meat and vegetables to feed such a big number of people. So they started growing the wheat. So my point is, buy a recipe book, because once you go to the internet and you start searching online for the recipes, gluten-free recipes, there are lots and lots of recipes and you don't know which one to choose. Once you have a book on your hands, it's very easy. You open, you have all the menu for the whole week. And this paleo diet is a very good one because it's a low carb, sugar-free, dairy-free and gluten-free diet. So if you want to be very healthy, I think this is a good choice. One more advice. If you go to the supermarket for shopping, if you buy some packed food, be extra careful and always look at the ingredients on the packaging, because there are lots and lots of hidden glutens in it. You can't even imagine and you can't even expect that this type of product can contain gluten and wheat flour, but it does. Believe me, I was surprised 1,000 times. And let's say I never expect that soy sauce has a gluten and that vinegar is also not gluten-free, but that's true. So be very careful. Read the ingredients. If the food is packed, read the ingredients, unless it's not the fresh vegetable or fresh fruit that you buy or fresh meat or steak. Read the ingredients. If you go to the restaurant, always inform your waiter that you have a gluten intolerance and let him suggest, first of all, if they have gluten-free menu, they will give it to you. In case if they don't, ask for any options that are guaranteed gluten-free. So probably he will need to consult with the chef and he will give you some, choice. The safest options from my own experience are the grilled options, like the grilled steaks, poultry, fish. But you need, again, to check if that steak or that meat was marinated in the vinegar that probably contained gluten. For the side dishes, stick to some plain options like rice, like potato, baked or French fries, or steamed vegetables. If you order salad, always ask if they have gluten in the dressing. Now about the temptations. They will be all around you, and be prepared, people might not perceive it seriously, your diet, especially your parents. In case, the first couple of years when I went back to my home country, and my mom and relatives, they of course wanted to feed us. They cooked a lot of yummy food and baked a lot of cakes. And when I said that I cannot eat this, they started to tell me, "Oh, come on, you ate it all your life and you're still alive, you didn't die, and try this one, try that one, just one bite, just a small piece." You need to remember that the gluten, once it's in your body, it takes 8 months for gluten to leave your body completely. So during all this 8 months, all those toxins will be circulating in your body and will be poisoning your blood. So remember this and try to explain people that this is very important for you. And I think you will need some time for that, and give them some time. Believe me, my family is already completely gluten-free. When we come, all the cakes are gluten-free and all the food is only healthy. Give them some time and be resistant to the temptations. My life changed tremendously after I started the gluten-free diet. So be prepared. First of all, you will lose your weight. Once you cut all those carbs, like cakes and pastas and pizzas, of course you will lose weight, and there is nothing dangerous about that. Probably even if you want to lose weight, I think that this diet is a very good way and the easiest way, because you just still eat lots of things, but you just lose your weight automatically. It helps to maintain the weight easily without any effort. After we started this gluten-free diet, first of all, I forgot about what is pain, stomach pain. I became more energetic. I didn't feel tired so often. I didn't have any anemia because I remember that sometimes in the morning I used to faint. So I completely forgot about those problems. My kids didn't get sick that often like they had before. Before we had a virus infection every single month, but since we started this diet, the immune system of my kids became much stronger. My husband forgot about his allergy, and I think our life quality-wise became much better. So in case if you have any hidden problems and you don't know what causes them, probably you can start this diet and you will see the results. Believe me, you will not regret. Okay, I think that's it for today. I told you all I knew about this gluten-free diet, and I shared my experience. I hope it was helpful. And I'll be filming more videos about gluten-free diet, and including the video recipes of our favorite cakes, because cakes are the most wanted ones. So I hope you enjoyed this video, and I hope to see you next time in my next video. So bye!